Hi, this is Liz from ISSCR, and I'm here to give the session chairs and moderators another little quick lesson on the back end version of the presenter's platform of what you're going to see during a session. Specifically, I want to go over how you're going to moderate the questions and then also the session timing. So this is the back-end view that only the presenters, the speakers, and the technicians will see. You'll have a panel over on the right side here with the chat that only people on the back end can use to talk to each other. And then we'll have all the different presentation slides going across the bottom. But right now, I want to call your attention over to this lower left-hand panel here. We want to click on questions and answers. This is where attendees can write in questions as the presenter is presenting. And as you're seeing, I can open up this panel a little bigger so I can read the questions better. So I'm going to do that here. As the questions come in, we ask that all session chairs stay over on the folders in the all folder. We want you to see every question that's coming in. And we want you to sort them by date newest. That way you'll see the most recent ones on top of the list. And when you do that, the questions will come in here and they're automatically sorted by medium. And we want you to sort them into either a high priority or a low priority. The low priority are ones for the technicians, and they're going to be questions about problems with people's audio or whatnot. They really shouldn't be putting them in here, but they might. So you'll put those into a low priority. But if they're questions for the speaker and you want the speaker to answer them, we'll give them a high priority. So as the questions come in, we'd like you to prioritize the questions. A medium priority might be a duplicate question, if it's a scientific question, but it's really already been answered, or maybe you just don't think it's really that necessary to answer this question because the speaker has an awful lot coming in. You might give it a medium priority. But we do want the high priority speakers questions to go to the speaker. You are not going to be posing the questions out loud to the speaker. The speaker will have to be reading the questions and responding to them directly. So this is your way of filtering the questions and giving them to the speaker. So just stay on this view of all folders sorted by date newest and prioritize them as high priority or perhaps medium priority. As the speaker is finishing with their presentation, maybe making comments about thanking the people in their lab or whatnot, you want to move the highest priority questions over to the current speaker folder. So move them over to the current speaker folder. This is the way that we know that the current speaker is going to get a good set of questions to answer. Another point I want to make is if questions aren't coming in, or if you have a good question that you want to pose to the speaker, you can enter it down here by putting in your own question. And then you would prioritize it. It comes in as medium, it doesn't have a folder, we're going to give it a high priority and send it to the current speaker. Waiting until the speaker is concluding to move everything to the current speaker folder is best. That way, if you're getting sort of duplicate questions or you see that some are really better, you really want them in the high priority, that is your last chance to put them all in the current speaker folder and send them to the current speaker. And just so you know, the speakers we're going to ask the speakers to just stay on the current speaker folder and sort by high priority. That way for them, they don't have to worry about sorting the questions, and they can just, when they're done, look at the questions, and just start at the top of the list and respond to them. So they're going to have a different view than you. You will be in the all folders and you will have it sorted by newest. Just remember, if you ever feel like you've made this panel too big, you can hit this gray back button and that defaults to the default settings of the page. So everything's sort of in a nice little panel layout. Now I want to direct your attention over here on the right-hand panel, up at the top, we have the timer. Very important that you realize this timer starts at 0 and counts up for the entire session. It does not reset for every speaker. It does not reset when questions start. It's for the entire session. So that's why when you were given your show flow and script from your session liaison, you were given a counter column that started at 0 and counts up. So you have an idea of when each speaker should start and when each question and answer segment should start. The ISSCR staff on the back end are going to be sending messages through this chat window. So you want to stay over here on chat. There's sources, staff, and chat. And we're going to be putting in messages that help with the timing. So you're going to get warning messages that say 1 minute remaining in the presentation and 30 seconds remaining in the presentation. And then you'll get a message that the presentation is ending and the questions are beginning. And then during the questions, again, we'll have the same kind of warning where there's a 1 minute warning and a 30-second warning. Then finally, at 15 seconds, if the speaker is not actively saying words that sound like they're wrapping up, we are going to warn both you and the speaker that the audio is going to be switched to the chair, and the engineer has been told that they need to switch to the chair. And then we'll put in a little message that the chair is speaking. Say the chair is Amanda Clark. We're going to put it in that Amanda Clark starts now. So you know that as the chair, we've had to cut off the speaker and it's your turn to interject and say, I'm sorry, we don't have any time for more questions. So yes, the speaker might go over their presentation time and use up some of their question time, but at the end of their question time, we really are going to be strict about cutting them off and moving on to the next speaker. Now the ISSCR staff on the background are going to be keeping track of the timing, so you won't need to do that. We'll be doing that, and you'll just need to be watching for these messages to come up. I think that is all I really wanted to go over. And one final thing at the end of the session, as we've written into your script, after every plenary and concurrent session, we have a scientific forum that's happening after each session that's tied to the same topic. And we'd really like all the chairs and speakers to go to that session to interact with attendees. Now, it's not required, but it's kind of like being at the front of the auditorium at the end of any talk where all the people gather who have a question that they didn't quite get answered. And so to do that, you'll need to exit this presenter's platform that you're in and go back to the lobby in the URL for the main meeting. So that is all we're going to go over today. Thanks so much for all your support, and we will see you online.